What is going on? What's up, TentHut? All right, hold on. There we go. That's better. What's up, guys? Hey, we put this countdown on. Let me know what you guys think. This is the TentHut show with a side of whiskey. You got a little canner here. This is different. I forgot all about it. I was trying to figure out this whole thing. But anyways, guys, I want to say thank you for those that reached out to me a couple days ago. Just saying, hey, I love your content. I really appreciate that. So thank you so much. I know you guys are sharing the video. I know you guys out there, doing, talking about, TentHut. And so we really appreciate that. And again, subscribe to our channel, give it a like, and go ahead and share the video as well. So today we don't have Jose with us. He's actually has some family stuff going on. Nothing serious. So it's Dr. Will up in the house, and we're gonna be talking about you ever seen those videos where they start operating on a potato, and I think it was something else. Did you see that video?
What?
Yeah, they were like this actually surgeon. He was like doing surgery on a potato and something
Oh, they
else.
use grapes, man, to do the skinning of the grapes.
Well, that was one of them.
Oh.
So yeah, but that was a pretty cool video. It was fun and funny at the same time. But anyways, today, what are we gonna be talking about, man?
Oh, we're talking about all your dependents. I think sometimes we as veterans forget that there's benefits that last after we're gone. And I know it's a hard topic to talk about, but we're gonna get to the day, they always say, there's only one thing guaranteed in this life is that we're all gonna die. And the VA actually has benefits, and even while we are alive, there are benefits that pertain to the survivors and also your dependents.
Right. Yeah.
But you said there was a question that was brought up maybe a couple of weeks ago or something.
Yeah, there was a question that was brought up. So honestly, I cannot find that question. Is like one of those that when you need it, you can't find it. But it was within the words or within the the question was what is the process to transfer my GI Bill or post 9/11 to my kids or kid? So what is the paperwork? Let's say if you used as a veteran, I used already 1 year. Can I still transfer it to
your remaining balance?
The remaining balance to my kids.
All right, so that one's actually pretty easy.
Okay.
If you go to va.gov, and most of the stuff that I'll be talking about, you can find very easily on va.gov. But there's actually a section in there that asks if you want to transfer your benefits to your dependent spouse or children.
Okay.
The dependent has to be either your legal wife or husband, whichever it is. You can't. There's some categories that the VA does consider the person lives with you, like what is it called?
You talking about
No. It's like when you're living with somebody. You're not married, but you're living with somebody. It's not. They're not called dependents. They're called something else. I'm trying to remember the legal term. But the VA does consider sometimes those individuals.
Right. Okay.
Some of those veterans don't want to get married again after going through 3-4 divorces or whatever. I heard the veteran tell me that he had 5 ex-wives. So,
Yeah.
but if you're living with somebody like a life partner, they call it, or something like that. Specifically, the reason they did that actually is because of the LGBTQ community, where in some states it's still not recognized as a legal marriage. So what they allow is life partner or living partner. I can't remember the actual terminology, but
maybe it's living partner.
But for GI Bill, unfortunately, that one is specific to your spouse, your legal spouse, and your legal dependents. The first thing you have to do, of course, with the VA process is make sure that you have your dependents registered through the VA. If you're collecting benefits and you don't have your dependents registered in the VA, like you've sent in the proof that they are your legal spouse or legal children, you're not getting paid your full amount, because you do. If you look at the VA schedule of payment for compensation and pension and compensation, on va.gov again,
Mhm.
it talks about extra payment for a veteran that's married and then with a dependent, a
With
child.
yeah.
And then for every child, they add a certain amount, like $105, I think, for the first one. Then for the second one, it's like $86. Or, I don't remember. I mean, you really have to look at these
Yeah.
numbers, and it breaks down by the percentage of disability that you have.
Right,
Um,
right.
so,
Yeah.
so once you have your dependents registered through the VA, which you should have them, uh, highly recommend it. You can go into va.gov and then go to the MGI bill, see your certification, and it's going to come back with you should get a letter saying how much you have, and then you can transfer all or some to your dependents. Now, when you do that, just keep that in mind that you cannot retro it. It's done. So if your spouse decides to divorce you, you kind of lose those benefits, period, whether she uses them or not.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, or he divorces you.
Yeah.
I don't want to exclude anybody. Um, but the other type of benefits that a lot of people don't realize that we have, of course, there's the Fry scholarship. That's probably the one that's going to pay out the most. That's payable to any. Um, First of all, let's give recognition to Marine Gunnery Sergeant John David Fry, and that's where the scholarship comes.
Hmm.
Killed KIA, killed in action. So the scholarship is for any dependent of a deceased or somebody that died in the line of duty after September 10th, 2001. So after September 11th, if that's easier to remember.
Right. Yeah.
That one has a scholarship uh, payout of 25,000. So it's pretty much like the GI Bill. It's a little bit over 25,000 per year, and it applies to private or foreign schools. So this one is very open, like the GI Bill, to what schools you can use it for.
Wow.
It covers $1,000 in book and stipend, so it's just like the GI Bill. And then same thing, it gives the beneficiary, which would be your child,
Right.
or it would be specific for children or dependents of that person that was KIA. And they also get the same allowance, the E5 stipend, just like the GI Bill does. Uh, if
Yep.
you can use it, or the child can use it after the 18th birthday, but before the 33rd birthday, which is different than the other benefits like Chapter 35, which I'll talk about here in a second.
Yeah.
The maximum amount of benefits for this one is 36 months, and it's pretty much open. I mean, you can use it for certificate testing, you can use it for apprenticeship and on the job, just like MGI Bill, vocational flight training. Uh, to If you need a tutor assistance, it actually pays for some of that, and then work study is also included in that. Now, there's a other benefit that's for disabled veterans that are considered total or permanent and total P&T disabled veterans, right? So usually you have 100% and you have something that's permanent total. There's no going down from that 100%. That one's called the DEA. The actual full name, which kind of throws people off, is
Yeah.
Survivors and Dependent
And
Education Assistance,
hmm
which is DEA, right? That one's a little different because it doesn't cover specific tuition. It just has a monthly full-time of training
hmm
requirement, right? So it pays out currently $1,200 a month,
Yeah.
which you can use specifically straight for tuition, which kind of limits what a person can do. It has to be used from 20 years of the last, uh, or sorry, 20 years from the death of the person that the service member,
Yeah.
or 10 years from the last uh, date of qualification, kind of like voc rehab. And actually, the department that handles this type of the Chapter 35 actually is voc rehab.
Hmm.
It's a division of theirs. The child must be between 18 and 26, so it can't be used after. So you have a limit. But the good thing is that it allows for 45 months of use.
Yeah.
So you can actually finish a bachelor's degree with this one. Now there's a another one that a lot of people forget about, of course, is for us here in the state of California. If you are a total and permanent disabled veteran, then the state of California doesn't charge you for UCs and Cal States,
Cal
and that
State.
you can find on CalVet.
Right.
That's not provided through the federal government. That's a separate program. What I recommend service members to do is to talk to their children. You know, let them know, hey, you know what? I might not be here when you're going to college, but these are the benefits that you're allotted, so that way they can plan accordingly. You know,
Yeah.
that way they can use one benefit followed by another, or find a way to maximize those benefits. Um, and it's a hard topic to have, of course, with your family, but it is an important one.
Yeah,
The
definitely.
education side.
So keep in
Um,
mind, if you're in California, make sure that you talk to your kids, say, hey, if you can't afford them to go out of state, let them know that, any UC, Cal State in California, right, that will be covered. So that's a huge plus, because I know for a fact that there's a
yeah,
lot of, kids, and I say kids, right, because I was in community college, they were struggling trying to figure out how they can pay their tuition at a community college,
yeah. My,
so
my suggestion, this is my suggestion only. You could take it how you want it. My suggestion is, if you live in the state of California, and go look at every state. If you're out of state, out of the state of California, you're in Texas, they have benefits themselves.
yeah,
I'm not going to get into details on that, but my suggestion is that you have from the age of 18 to 26. Usually, if a child is leaving high school at 17, 18 years old, they're
yeah,
done with college by the age of 21. So my suggestion is that you go have your kids attend a Cal State or a UC for their undergrad. Try to go to summer school and finish it faster. That way they have till the age of 26 and 45 months to use the federal side of benefits.
yeah,
You know, the tuition is free in the Cal States. The only thing they're gonna have to worry about, of course, is the books, board, and all that stuff, the extra stuff,
yeah,
which is a big relief. I mean, if they can cover the other end, or you leave money behind for that type of stuff.
yeah.
Um,
So you're saying they can get the bachelor's since they go for free at UC or Cal State, and then if
mhm.
they want to go for their master's, then they can actually tap it into this extra benefit.
Correct. It
The
because
same.
it doesn't limit what type of degree you want. It
Yeah,
could be college, business, technical, vocational programs, certificate testing, apprenticeship, on the job training, you name it.
yeah,
Or even say they get a bachelor's degree, but they need some hours, community hours, right, to get like social work, for instance. You need 3,600 hours, which is like uh if you do the math full time, you're talking about a year and a half, right?
yeah,
So why not do it and be paid at least a stipend of $1,244 or $224 is what it is right now. It goes up every year.
right, yeah.
So I mean, it's just one of those benefits that you really gotta use it appropriately to be able to maximize it.
Uh,
Um, what's that?
I was gonna say, so for those that are watching this right now, keep in mind this is a way of for you to actually create wealth for your family, and that
Hmm.
is free. Technically, kind of free education, right? So
Yeah,
your kids can actually have a better, a good career by the time they graduate, and especially with a master's. What you mentioned is a great strategy.
yeah.
So keep that in mind, guys. Just keep that in mind.
Hey, I just met a doctor over there at VA Long Beach. She's podiatry, and she's 25 years old. You
Oh
know,
wow. Yeah.
So if she was a dependent of a service member that's total and permanent, she
Yeah.
literally could have paid for her whole education on all these benefits and still have money to do her residency, right? Because she has to do residency for what, 3 years or something, like, depending on what type of
Depending.
physician you
Yeah.
become,
Yeah.
and be paid still the stipend,
Yeah.
for another year. The big thing is that you have to just be able to maximize and find out ways to use it. If a lot of people forget, and I need to emphasize this, for you to get a doctorate, you don't require a master's unless that doctorate program requires a master's. So
Yeah.
you could potentially finish a 4 year degree, or even
Bachelor's.
finish it in 3 years if you do summer school,
Yeah.
right? Instead of taking that break, and then finish 3 years of your doctorate that doesn't require a master's for like MD in your general practice, and finish, by the age of 25, 24, 25.
Yeah.
It is possible, you just
Or
gotta hustle. You gotta
yeah. Or
hustle.
even if you're trying to become an attorney, you could go from your bachelor straight to law school.
Well, the
Yeah.
attorney is even easier now, like USC, and I believe some of the other schools, UCI, I believe, has one too. They have uh, undergrad JD combo, so you finish in 5 years total.
Oh wow. Look at
And
that.
they and
That's amazing.
some of
I wish I
some
would
of
have
these
known.
others, yeah, and some of these other schools have
Yeah.
undergrad combos with MDs. I think they just came out with a MBA JD, which, or MBA MD and JD, which is
Yeah. They have both.
four
Yeah.
years instead of it's 4 years instead of the traditional five on top of your undergrad.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's options out there, and you really gotta stay focused, and try to double up on the education. Try to find the programs that are gonna maximize your benefits
Right. Exactly.
when
Yeah.
it comes to education. But talking about the survivor benefits, one big thing that I always tell veterans is make sure you have in writing all this stuff. You need to go do research for your kids to have this
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure you have it in writing. Um, so last week somebody asked me about burial benefits.
Hmm.
If you didn't know this, the if you go through a traditional burial, like you go to a private company, some of the costs
Yeah.
are not covered for veterans. Like
Yeah.
uh, it's like, for instance, the
So
maximum allowance for a veteran after September 11 is 2 grand.
yeah.
You
Hey,
know,
let's hold on. I want to add something real quick. So mortuaries are actually charging between $2,000 to $5,000 just to get what's that word, cremated. That's not including
that's not.
and that's not including getting get buried, or get the casket and everything, set up. That's
Yes,
a lot more. So
yeah,
it costs your family to bury you or go burn you.
yes. Even
Yeah.
so, say you wanted to be cremated,
Yeah.
it costs your family more money because that's not covered through the VA. The VA
Yeah.
covers your burial service, your your stone, and that's it. It doesn't
Yeah.
cover if you want a fancy dancy casket, or your family wants to, get you know, something crazy, or say they want to transport you to bury you somewhere else. You need to highlight all this stuff. Like
Yeah.
for me, I I want to be uh my body needs to go to science, right?
Mhm.
That's what I want.
Bro, they're
Uh
gonna kick it back, bro.
I I
They're
want
gonna
them
be
to
like,
really,
what
and
kind of
I have
research?
it in my
There's
will.
nothing in his body.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
it's empty, skull especially. The big thing that I want them to study, and I put this in my will, is that I want, in my final testament, is that I want them to study TBI of my skull, because that is something that I have, and the PTSD, and all these different injuries that I have. I want them to use it for veteran research,
Yeah.
um, which eliminates a lot of these costs, but this can be contradictory to a lot of people because they're like, well, you're a Christian, how dare you not bury your body because
Yeah.
it's a religious preference. And that's fine, but I think that I prefer that my body continue to be used for further research because I believe in that, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, that you don't want your family to be put or subjected to this type of questioning. What did he want? I don't know. Just bury him.
Yeah.
And that's not what you really wanted, you know. So you really have to think about this stuff and plan it out for uh for all your family, you know.
Yeah, it's really important for you guys. And I never thought about this until I could say my dad passed away. But
Mhm.
then that's a whole different story. But I can tell you that it's really important for you to have a plan, even
Yeah.
after something does happen. So your family doesn't have to go through all this trouble or trying to figure it out. If you live in California, or at least I know if you're in the San Bernardino, Riverside, and Orange County, I know there's dedicated cemetery for veterans in Riverside.
Yeah.
So you can reach out. Someone told me about this about a year and a half ago, and I
Yeah.
realized now, and I'm like, you know what? I need to start prepping because you never know what can happen.
Yeah.
I know I'm young, but I'm still don't want to put that kind of burden into my family. So,
Yeah.
someone said,
Things happen, man. Things happen.
someone said I want to be turned into gold. Uh,
I want to be dipped in the gold.
yeah,
I want to be dipped in gold.
yeah,
That would be pretty awesome. But let's be realistic. I
yeah.
mean, if you're gonna leave the money behind,
Get it right.
yeah,
You gotta carry me, take me
yeah,
everywhere. Yeah, and get
and get
mummified.
mummified. Oh my god, man! Put you on the exhibit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
don't think
not.
the humidity here. I mean, we don't have that much, but the humidity here won't allow too much mummification. But
Yeah, unless it's singing
uh,
Big Bear. Yeah,
yeah, you know. So make sure you leave all this stuff, you know, and make sure that your family knows what they're entitled to.
yeah,
Um, and not
yeah.
just benefits. There's a lot more.
It's all about planning, right? So, like in the military, we all plan. I mean, I know for a fact as an NCO, I had to make sure I had a plan, check, and recheck. I remember that's what my
Hmm.
platoon sergeant used to say all the time. But it's
Yeah,
always checking, making sure that everybody's squared away. Make sure you have all the small details ready and good to go. The same thing you have to do
yeah.
for yourself and your family.
And what's crazy is that it's free for us.
Yeah,
There is a plethora. I mean, the Legal Aid Institute. You can go to the VA and they can draft up a standard will if that's what you want. You know, like
yeah,
uh, I, the word just slipped out of my mind. The advocate or something in case of an emergency.
yeah.
Just go in there. Look, if I die tomorrow, I want to have a will. Where can I get one? And they'll point you at the VA hospital to where you can get the form. It's a form type. So you put your name, your social, all your stuff. You submit it to the VA. If something happens to you, the VA will pull it out and, hey, here's his advanced directive. That's what it's called,
Okay,
advanced directive. You know, you could go to the VA business office at any hospital or the VBA office. Really doesn't deal with that. It's more of the hospitals. You gotta go to the hospitals, the VA hospitals, the
okay. The main hospitals
clinical side.
like
Yeah,
Los Angeles, LA, Loma
Long Beach.
Linda.
Yeah, Long Beach.
I'm sorry, Long
You
Beach.
just go to the VA hospital. They'll do an advanced
Take care.
directive for you right there on the spot. You know, or if
Okay.
you want to sit down with a lawyer and actually write out your testament, you know, your last testament, then go to the Legal Institute out in Santa Ana, wherever they're located over here in Orange County. They'll do it for free. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like something that we never think or that we should be updating. Also, you know,
Yeah.
you buy property, you should update it. You
Yeah.
have a child, you should update it. You get divorced or married or you got a significant other you want to leave your stuff to, you need to update it, you know, and stay up to date with that stuff,
Right. Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
know.
Good stuff. So just keep that in mind, guys. This is part of the financial planning. Honestly, that's what it falls into, right? Estate
Hmm.
planning, so to speak. So just keep in mind. But there's a lot of benefits out there that I can tell you that even myself would take for granted, and I'm like, okay, I really gotta. As you get older, you start thinking about certain things, and like, all right, I gotta really start planning things that I've never thought about.
Mhm.
But yeah, and as far as dependents, just keep in mind. Here's a quick recap. You highly recommend for you guys to talk to your kids if they're gonna go to college in California, UC or Cal State. They can go for free. From there, there's other programs so they can pay for their masters. That is you passing over some great amount of wealth. May not be cash, but it's another way for your kids to actually get from you. You know,
Man,
but
masters program right now is going about what?
oh
Freaking
Jesus,
120,
yeah,
easy, $120,000, you know,
yeah,
and
that's it's
you know,
ridiculous. That's
it's a
crazy,
lot
dude.
of money, dude.
Yeah,
It's a lot of money, you
yeah,
know. You know what I recommend everybody does, is go to the va.gov, and if you just type in va.gov, main screen, scroll down, go to dependents portal, look at the healthcare benefits as well, because there's life insurance that you can buy at a very low cost compared to other places from the
yeah,
VA.
yeah.
Uh, there's programs for your family, for you Marines that were in Camp Lejeune. Your family's actually entitled to some compensation.
Wow.
Uh, if you were in the Korean or Vietnam War, and your family was diagnosed, a biological child of yours was diagnosed with spina
Different, yeah.
bifida, uh, they're covered. They supposed to get benefits for that because they have traced it back to those areas, those Asian countries.
Mhm.
Uh, and you know what is coming that a lot of people don't realize, and there's been a lot of research. I actually just submitted some of my research paper to the VA, is on the air quality for us, OIF, OEF, and New Dawn, and whatever new operations are going on. We've been at war for 20 years. Can you believe that?
Yeah,
In
it's crazy. Yeah,
September 11th, we've been at war for 20 years.
2000. Yeah,
Uh, there's
yeah,
they're doing this air quality survey at the VA research that we talked about last time. Remember,
yeah.
um, many illnesses that your children have gotten are now being traced back to the stuff that we were exposed to in Iraq, and actually stuff that we were exposed by the injections, the anthrax injections,
Oh my
and
god.
all this stuff. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Because
crazy, dude. Yeah,
and we had kids,
yeah,
after getting those shots, so that stuff is being traced back, and eventually they'll end up in this list. So you got to stay on top of this stuff. You got to look at the VA at what new dependent benefits there is. The last benefit that I can think of that definitely always jogs somebody's mind is
yeah.
uh, the life support, or dependent support. So
Right.
no
Yeah.
wonder. Who said no wonder? uh, it all
Yeah.
makes
It's
sense now.
sense.
Yeah, it does make sense.
Um,
It's crazy because, like, I hear a lot of veterans that served, in the same operations as me and you, and they're always talking about, my body aches, I have joint pain, and it's all being traced back to anthrax. It's being traced back to all these air quality and pollution. You know,
yeah.
I found nodules in my lungs. You name it. So
Yeah. And it's really interesting because I can say 99% of veterans have the same symptoms, right?
yeah,
So it's like,
yeah,
all right, there's something here. Like that's what I've asked myself. So that's why when someone says, I don't know, I don't want to get into it, but all I said, it's what you put in your body,
yeah.
you're going to feel it throughout the years. And then your kids are going to receive that because, it's part of your DNA, right?
Because
So,
it's part of your DNA.
yeah,
DNA, yeah.
yeah.
That's why I don't eat chicken, bro. I don't eat chicken because chicken is a scary bird, and I don't need that in my DNA.
What about cow, bro? What about cow?
Cows don't run away from things, bro. Have you ever gone up to a cow, bro? They charge at you. Cows are fearless.
Yeah. That's funny, dude. Yeah, but Yeah, if you don't eat chicken, then yeah, that tells you a lot, guys. So keep it in mind. I'm looking forward to that research.
Yeah, there's chicken research. I say
Yeah,
we leave it here, man. Chickens
yeah,
are dirty. Yeah, they
yeah,
are
yeah.
filthy. What do they call the? What do they call chickens? Yard birds.
Yardbirds. Yeah,
Yard bird. Yeah, they are
yeah,
gross. They eat their own.
yeah. Oh, now you
Yeah,
know. All right, guys. So yeah, just keep that in mind. If you have any questions, go ahead and reach out to us. I know if you need some navigation, because I know it could be kind of
it's a
daunting
lot.
just
It's a lot.
dealing. Yeah. So it's we could definitely help you with that. And as well with Will. But anything else? Something I want to ask. I want to change conversation. It was funny because I saw this meme. I know we talked about like not talking about
Oh
memes.
my god, he didn't say that,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, hold on. But I really so it just this is,
No,
but
no,
it's not a
no.
meme. It's not a meme. It's actually what thought about. What is your favorite MRE?
MRE.
Yes,
I gotta say the mac and cheese when that came out, that was pretty good.
the
I
mac and
think I
cheese.
have one up here
Oh,
somewhere.
you do? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, is number 9 beef stew. As a long story.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I love that shit.
That one's pretty good. The
Yeah.
worst one I think was the ham.
Nope. Never tried that.
It was
I never,
like a dry. It was like a just a slab of ham, right? Like they call it the pork chop or something, and it was like a slab of ham, bro.
yeah.
And it was so freaking salty because you know how they use salt to preserve. It was
Yeah.
like
Uh,
they dumped salt on this piece of rubber meat.
pretty much rubber meat. That's what it is. Oh shit,
Yeah.
it's like no, the one that I did not like, man, is the omelet.
Oh, dude, that
There were
one
some
was
guys that would
gross.
love. Yo, there was some guys that were like, "Yeah, I fucking this is great." I was like, "No, man, this is horrible."
That's
Yeah,
gross.
so yeah,
I
so
wonder what kind of stuff we got from those MREs, man. All the preservatives in those things, dude. I mean,
yeah,
geez. What
we
they
were
last?
just
10 years, right? 10 years.
yeah, about 10 years. Yeah,
Gross.
hey, but you know what's crazy? So I'm gonna. I don't know if they watch if he's particularly watching this or he's gonna watch this, but there was this one sergeant, supply
Uh huh.
sergeant, that realized that he took over, right?
Mhm.
And he realized that one of the MREs that were given out to these to the troops every time we went to
Yeah.
the field were expired because he, again, he took over, and he was
Oh,
like, "What the?" They were old, bro. Like they were like probably 18 years old.
dust,
Like
bro. Dust.
yeah, it was just like this is what we serve me. So anyway, so he send it back and be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing here? What the heck did the other supply sergeant do?" So we were eating the food,
Yeah.
and like,
Cause you didn't have anything else
yeah,
to
nothing
eat.
else. Yeah, nothing else to eat. So yeah. But the stuff that we go through.
You know the thing is that like I remember like when I was a drill, the students they love those things, dude. Cause oh my god, and I'm like, you
Yeah,
love them right now, but trust me, like when you have to eat these things, it ain't a fun day. You know,
yeah,
it ain't a fun day.
yeah. I
You know,
remember. I remember before I went to Maps, I went to the recruiter and they had this that event, and I ate an MRE. I was like, "Oh, this is amazing! This is awesome." Dude, when I went to even after the boot camp, I was like, man, I don't want to eat none of this, man. This is nasty.
I
So
don't know,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
I couldn't. Somebody
yeah.
said I blocked all that out of my
My
mind.
mind.
Well, welcome back. I brought it back.
Dun dun dun.
I can't relate. Must be Navy. They get those powder eggs.
Oh
Bro,
yeah.
food on a ship is gross. That's some gross food. When
Nope, never experienced that. So can't tell you
when
that.
dude, they get powdered everything, man. They make everything out of powder. So like jailhouse. Because and I remember when the pilots would land into the Air Force bases sometimes, to like refuel or they were doing sorties or whatever. They would
Yeah.
come into the Air Force base, dude, and where's the chow hall? First question they would.
There's a towel.
And they're like, oh yeah, we're not eating that powder stuff anymore. But
one of
yeah.
one of one of our buddies, he actually said to us, because we had him on another show,
Mhm.
and he said, I have never, through I don't know how many years he's been in the Air Force, but he said, I have not touched an MRE. He was a pilot. He did
So
not
man,
touch an MRE. I was
lucky,
like, wow. Yeah.
lucky,
He said I
lucky,
always had like
because
a little microwave. Yeah,
probably I don't
and I was
know.
like, well, you know what? I ain't gonna hate, man. That's smart, because you can
Yeah,
make your own food, pick your whatever you want. But yeah,
yeah.
cool, man. So, anyways, guys, thank you so much for those who've been watching, participating. I'm really thankful for that. Love it. Just remember, every Thursday, 7 p.m. Pacific time. Like this video, share this video, subscribe to our channel,
Subscribe,
TentHut,
subscribe.
TentHut, TentHut. All right, guys. Until next time, take care and be well.
Cheers.
Salud. All right, a little late on that.